Hi guys, Paul here at Radioshop Pickups in South Wales, and we thought we'd do a second version of our making a guitar pickup video which we did earlier in the month, because we've had a lot of questions from people asking us about certain stages of the video. We thought we'd actually do a video with commentary and tell you what's going on in the making of an ID Buck Strat Pickup. And in this case it's a bridge pickup. The first step you're seeing on the screen there is actually Paul Dunn arranging the pull pieces, the Alnico magnets, into order, and the numbers you saw there with actually the height of the pull pieces. And what he's doing there now is setting about beveling the magnet, which is taking the sharp edge off it so you don't catch your plectrum or pick on there. And actually, this is one of the things that we're most proud of, is the authenticity of our bevel, which we matched to a 63 Strat we were allowed to borrow. And I will be honest with you here, what you're seeing there with Paul sanding the pull piece, you're seeing nearly everything in the process. There are one or two things that we're keeping back that we don't want other pickup makers to know about. So you saw most of what goes on with the beveling, which took us literally days to perfect. Paul is sanding the bobbin here, the flat work we call it in the trade, and now he's pressing the Alnico magnets one by one into the bottom of it, and we're actually going about making a bobbin which we'll later be able to wind. So all the pull pieces go in there, then the top piece goes on. This is what's under the hood of your Strat pickup cover, and he's using the actual bottom piece again to press the top on there, and now he's actually just tidying everything up. Now bear in mind what you're seeing here is actually sort of 45, I think it is, clips in this video, and they all come very, very quickly, so I'm just commenting quickly on what's going on here. The bobbin is finished, and it's on to the next stage, which is dipping in nitrocellulose to coat the pull pieces and actually protect them from shorting out. So we've got some lovely nitro on there now, and we're gonna have to get it off. So first of all, we spin it to get the excess off, and following that, this pickup will have 24 hours hanging up to dry. We're ready to wind, and we're going to use heavy form bar wire, 42 gauge, classic wire with a classic sound, and Paul is there just tying the copper wire around the eyelet so that it doesn't move. And onto the winder it goes. As you can see, all of our pickups are wound by hand, and this is a painstaking process really. A lot of other pickup makers, are winding your pickups in about 2 minutes, whereas we're taking a long time just going over it by hand and putting the amount of winds that we require onto the pickup. And that's Paul Dunn there, working away. A lot of people have seen him in some of our videos on social media and so on. So that's the most important part, and that's over now. There's the copper wire onto the pickup, and it's ready for the next stage. Handing over to me, Paul Best, to actually do the next bit. I'm checking the output there, and that's bang on exactly where you need it to be. In this clip, I'm actually using a little bit of cloth tape, and I'm actually just putting it across the bottom of the pull pieces to make sure we don't short out against the steel base plate. And the steel base plate, I'm going to score there with like a scraping device there, just to make sure the solder takes. I put a little bit of solder on. The magnetism is actually enough here to hold the base plate in place, but I like to put a little bit of super glue on as well to make sure we never get movement rather. I leave that for a few seconds, and then I start to just tin the eyelets. That's the start wire. I'll move on to the finish wire, and now I start to put the cloth hookup wire into place and solder that in place. And now I was soldering the ground to the base plate, and I'm just basically tidying up to make sure it looks really, really neat. I don't like to just make a pickup that sounds great, but we obviously want it to look great too. And then I'm tucking the wires, I like everything neat and tidy. And then I'm just feeding the cloth hookup wires through the hole in the bottom of the flat work there. I'm going to twist those wires, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen pickups arrive in that fashion. It just looks really neat, and also it's really easy to work with then. So our pickup now is ready for the reduced wax potting, and again, that's another thing we haven't quite showed you, because that's obviously a bit of a secret, how we actually do the reduced wax potting to boost the dynamics of the pickup. So it's got a lot more dynamic range. So there's a little bit of wax on there now, which we've tidied up, and we're just checking the magnetic orientation, and basically the pickup is done and ready for installation in your guitar. And the music in the background, the amazing playing as always, is by the man himself, Chris Buck. So the man who lent his name to the signature set that we came up with. And this is actually footage which we took from an earlier video, which is our Alnico 3 versus Alnico 5 comparison video. And as always, the playing from Mr. Buck is absolutely incredible. So I hope you enjoy that. If you've enjoyed this video, or if you've got any questions, please put them in the comment section below and hit subscribe. We'd love it if you would. Thanks for watching, guys.